What is up, Patriot Nation? What is about to go down behind the scenes in Foxborough could completely shift the trajectory of our franchise for years to come. There are quiet moves and cryptic statements suggesting an aggressive roster overhaul, but not everyone is buying into this new chapter. Are we witnessing the rebirth of a dynasty or a house of cards ready to collapse under the pressure? You seriously won't believe what we have on deck today. So grab a seat, smash that like button, and let's dive into the news. Also, make sure to subscribe because we are pushing for 1,000 subs. You know that feeling when you can tell something big is simmering on the back burner and the scent is already taking over the whole kitchen? That is exactly the vibe hanging over Foxborough lately. There is one name that every fan has on their breath, a player who would instantly elevate our receiving core and give Drake May that elite target every young quarterback dreams about. The speculation is hitting a boiling point, and trade rumors are picking up steam by the hour. Right in the middle of this whirlwind, a central figure on our coaching staff finally decided to break the silence. Mike Vrabel, the man who brought back that grit and winning mentality we all missed so much, spoke openly about his connection with none other than A.J. Brown. Yes, the Philadelphia Eagles star, who many believe is caught in a roster reshuffle, is at the heart of this storm. What makes this so intense is that Vrabel did not handle the topic like some cold front office executive. He went deep. He talked about watching the player grow up and how proud he is of the man, the father, and the husband A.J. Brown has become. This goes way beyond simple tactical analysis or looking at catch statistics. There's a bond of loyalty and mutual respect that started back in Tennessee and clearly never faded. Vrabel revealed they stay in constant contact, texting support through the highs and the lows. Now, just stop and think with me for a second. If you are a player of AJ's caliber and you see your old mentor rebuilding a giant like the Patriots, where the ceiling is non-existent after a Super Bowl run, what would you want? The fans are already losing it on social media, imagining the impact of having a physical freak like him racking up yards after the catch. Strategically, this would be checkmate. Having a coach who knows every detail of his star receiver's temperament and talent is an advantage money cannot buy. Vrabel made it clear the respect remains regardless of the uniform. But between us, this kind of proximity is no accident. If the Patriots pull the trigger on this move, we're sending a message to the entire league that we are not just here to compete, we are back to dominate. And if you think that is the only bombshell today, you better buckle up. If you thought the interest in an elite receiver was the peak of our offseason aggression, hold your breath, because what surfaced Wednesday night turned the volume up in a way no one saw coming. The name making the foundations of Foxborough shake is Max Crosby. Yes, the Condor from the Las Vegas Raiders appears to be directly in the Patriots' crosshairs, but the price to pry that monster out of the desert is enough to make any general manager break a sweat. According to some massive reports from Pro Football Talk, the Raiders are not entertaining anything less than 2 first-round picks and an impact player in return. It is a steep price, right up there with what the Cowboys moved for Micah Parsons, but the big question hanging in the air is whether it is worth mortgaging the future for a guy who could be the permanent anchor of our defense. The suspense builds when you realize Crosby himself is not exactly hiding his cards. He has already dropped major hints that he would love to play for Mike Vrabel and spent time praising the Patriots organization on his own podcast. Just imagine the absolute havoc this guy would wreak in our defensive scheme. We are talking about a 28-year-old athlete in his physical prime who has racked up nearly 70 sacks in 7 seasons and is coming off 5 straight Pro Bowls. He is the definition of consistency and motor, exactly the kind of high-energy profile that New England culture demands. The strategic side of this is heavy. The Patriots are coming off a Super Bowl campaign that shocked the world, proving the young roster has the juice. But we still lack that one dominant edge rusher to close out games when the pressure is at its peak. The fan base is split between the fear of losing valuable draft capital and the pure adrenaline of seeing Crosby destroy opposing backfields in our colors. This is a decision that could define our championship window for the next 5 years. If the front office pulls the trigger, it is the ultimate proof that win now mode is fully activated. And while we are all trying to wrap our heads around those astronomical trade numbers, an outside voice is trying to pour cold water on everything we have built so far. You know how international recognition starts to bug the people who have always rooted against us? Well, analyst Nick Wright decided to show up with one of those takes that makes any Patriots fan's blood boil. After a historic 14-3 campaign in 2025, where we matched the greatest single-season turnarounds in NFL history, Wright went public saying our house is about to crumble. He claimed flat out that Drake May is going to take a massive step back in 2026, that his stats will tank, and the team's record is going to take a huge hit. It is the kind of take that completely ignores the ridiculous growth we actually saw on the field. Drake May was not just good. He led the league in completion percentage at 72% and posted an insane 113.5 rating. The kid threw for over 4,000 yards and 31 touchdowns in his second year. Talking about regression now feels more like wishful thinking than actual film study. And it was not just May. We had Stephon Diggs breaking the 1,000-yard mark, something we had not seen since Julian Edelman back in 2019. Our defense was a total no-fly zone with Christian Gonzalez and Marcus Jones being a menace on returns. Wright leans on the argument that we have the 6th hardest schedule in the league next year, but he is forgetting a key piece of the puzzle, which is the culture Mike Vrabel has built. This group has playoff scars now. They have the experience of playing a Super Bowl in the snow against the Broncos and learning from that tough loss to the Seahawks. The roster retention strategy shows the front office trusts this chemistry. The fans are fired up over these comments, and honestly, I love the underdog role they're trying to force on us again. It is just bulletin board material for a locker room that already proved it can shut up the loudest critics. If the schedule is tougher, the answer is a team that is even more resilient under a coach who breathes winning. And if you think this outside noise is our biggest concern, wait until you see how this all ties into our immediate future. Summing up everything we hit today, it is obvious the New England Patriots are at a strategic fork in the road between aggressive market moves and internal growth. The Mike Vrabel connections to A.J. Brown and the loud interest from Max Crosby show we are a premier destination for superstars. But the price of greatness is high, and critics like Nick Wright are waiting for us to fail. What would you do? Sacrifice the future for Max Crosby or bet on Drake May's natural progression? Let me know in the comments, drop a like, and subscribe as we hunt for 1,000.